Welcome to Brew Crime Podcast, where we drink brews, talk crime, conspiracies, Power Rangers, or whatever catches our attention. This is Mike and my co-host,
Rangers. Zordon. My name is Zordon.
sort on the Powerful or something. I don't know. I don't remember it
That's just
enough.
Zordon. I think it's just flat. He's like Prince. It's just Zordon.
Okay. Was
I
he the
can't
floating
remember.
head?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I
The
can't
guy that was
remember.
paid like one day's like short recording.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then there's Alpha. Aye 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 Rangers. Um, Trying
I
to
think
think
I
of
only ever
anybody else.
watched the original, and I didn't watch it that long.
Oh, I talk a little bit about it in the case that we covered today about my
Sweet.
experience, and also you know me. Unless you talked about it last episode, because I know I wasn't there, because I did not have a voice at all. I blew out my voice, my vocal cords. It was bad.
Yes. Well, we recorded mine with you, so
Oh, yes, that's right.
long time ago. Long time ago.
Yeah, it felt like a while ago.
It's been weeks, I
So,
think.
so much has happened. Um,
Yes. So much lost voice.
right? So much lost voice, so much less hope for the future of this country. It's just,
And
it's all falling
humanity in
apart.
general.
And humanity in general,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Yeah,
Poland
it's
is
all
going
just
to
falling.
start a nuclear weapons program now.
Who is?
Poland.
All right.
They don't want to get invaded, I don't think, by Russia. So, although, why announce it? Why not build it first and then announce it? But
Right, right. You don't tell your mom you're painting your room until you're done. You
yeah,
don't.
suddenly Russia pulls out of Ukraine and just goes to Poland. Jesus.
Jesus. I mean, man, that
Mega Ranger
whole situation's just fucked.
fucked you up.
Um,
Much like the world.
at this point, I think these things have been done to detract attention from what's going on here. Oh, conspiracies. Which we cover in our half pint of crime on our Patreon. So join it. Um,
Yes.
so
Or else you'll be a sheeple. No.
right, right. Meh. Um,
Meh.
I've entitled this case "Go Go." Oh no, Power Rangers.
Roll.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
right. So like our first, obviously we covered the first case, and that was a certified mess in terms of everything that
Yes.
happened. Um, you know, uh, my thing is, I bet you didn't think this was going to happen to the Power Rangers, but also if you're like me, you just expect these kids and shows to go south pretty quickly. And
Yeah.
and the curse is real for the Power Rangers casts. And as far as folks who've been involved in the show dying goes, there's at least 12 instances of this occurring. Um, Usually
Jesus.
almost right after they finish filming. But we also have a larger sample size. There's far more versions of Power Rangers with different casts than pretty much any other show.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, and I talk about that a little later. I think it's 30 seasons, 22 variations of
Holy
Power Rangers.
shit.
Yeah. So one of my first memories of Power Rangers was watching TV, sitting down and seeing the Zords appear on the screen for like one of the first episodes of the TV show when it started broadcasting. And I was 6 years old. Um,
What is
I
a
didn't.
Zord again?
The Zord is the big robot thing that they can call.
Oh, okay.
They can call their
Yeah.
Zords. See, nerd alert.
Oh,
Um,
it's also I'm just yeah, it's been a long time.
well, like the 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 series started and I was a little younger, but then when that movie came out with Ivan Ooze and all the other, the first movie, which I consider the pinnacle movie, because I don't the other ones suck. Um, but I was definitely old enough, and I go back and I watch it now and again just because it was so much fun, so
Yeah.
much fun to watch. It's so campy. Anyway, so I was 6 years old, but Power Rangers like took the world by storm.
Oh, they sure did. I was a bit older and I was a big fan for a short time.
Just wild. I much like Pokemon, I stopped after the initial series. So Ricardo Mendina Jr. is our Ranger today.
Okay.
He's widely known for his acting career. Maybe that might be generous. Uh, he's he's a talented actor. He's a martial artist as well. But he's best known for his role in the Power Rangers franchise. He didn't really get to do much after that, and you'll see why. So, Medina Jr. was raised in Los Angeles, California. This is where he made his early foray into the world of entertainment and martial arts. While his career eventually became associated with the Power Rangers franchise and martial arts, his background and interest provided a solid foundation for his later endeavors. He was born on January 12th, 1977. He grew up in a diverse and culturally rich environment, and that played a role in shaping his aspirations. His interest in acting and in the performing arts, again, young age, and he showed that he had some natural talent. During his early years, Medina began making appearances in commercials, showcasing his early commitment to his budding acting career. And those early experiences in front of the camera helped him develop the skills and presence needed for a successful career. So they started early. I'm wondering if
Yeah,
he had like a stage mom.
that's funny how that happens, right?
Yeah,
Things
they
never
kind of
go well when you start that young.
they like push into the system, and then you just
Yeah.
can't escape.
I mean, we're lucky Macaulay Culkin isn't a serial killer at this point.
He had some time where I didn't know if he was gonna make it.
Yeah, it's true.
Um,
But we all saw him almost murder people on screen.
Very true. He got it out of his system.
The Wet Bandits.
But I did watch his Hollywood star. He got a star like a couple weeks ago.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
and his speech was so lovely, and he thanked his wife and his kids, and it was just he just seems pretty wholesome now. He had kids, and he just kind of grew up
Now it's time to
um
do another Home Alone.
with his kids, right?
No, with him.
Um, oh, with him, I have heard that there is talk of something like that happening, where he's like the parent or something to that degree.
I mean,
Uh,
I know this is totally off topic. I'd love to see that, but done by like one of those little like low budget horror series things. I know it's
like
Disney, probably, but
like Bloomhouse Productions.
Blumhouse, yeah. Love to
Blumhouse.
see
They're
that.
not low. I mean, they're not low budget, but
No,
yes,
but
just like that. Actually, I'd like Rob Zombie to do it. Um,
back to Power Rangers.
or the director of Saw. Um,
Oh, yeah.
so
Or Hostel.
oh oh yes, Medina's upbringing and early interest in both acting and martial arts set the stage for his time with Power Rangers. Um, in terms of Power Rangers, he was in the version called Wild Force. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this series. I'm also going to talk about Power Rangers in general, mostly because there really isn't a ton about the case. I get enough in there, obviously, but I do want to talk a little bit about just how influential this show
Yeah.
is. Um, so Wild Force is the 10th season of the series, which originally aired in 2002. God, that was too long ago.
Also, I'm amazed that it was still airing then.
Mhm. It's still airing now.
Oh God.
I know. So the show revolves around a team of 5 young heroes who morph into the Wild Force Power Rangers to protect the Earth from various environmental threats and a coalition of villains known as the Orgs.
Oh, can we bring them back? They could
No, it would
fight the
be
politicians that are screwing the earth.
right. Sometimes literally in George Santos's case. So here's a summary of the season. So the series takes place in the fictional city of Turtle Cove, which is funny because it sounds a lot like the original city of Angel Grove, where the Earth's environment and animals are under threat from pollution and ecological imbalances. Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Cole Evans, the Red Ranger, Taylor Earhart, the Yellow Ranger, Max Cooper, Blue, Danny Delgado, Black, and Alyssa Unreale. We're gonna say Alyssa, the White Ranger. I like that. Alyssa, the White Ranger. That's cool.
Were they all the color of their outfits?
So I think I made this comment the last time was like just how racist it kind of was, especially to start.
Yeah.
Um, with the White Ranger ruling over all of them. Just saying.
Oopsie.
All right, Saban. So they're selected by the ancient Animarium to become the Wild Force Power Rangers and defend the planet. The Wild Force Rangers pilot giant animal-themed Zords, which can combine to form powerful Megazords to battle the Orgs. What I call that is a marketing opportunity.
Yes.
Um, the
Rip off of
primary,
Transformers.
yes, the primary antagonists are the Orgs, supernatural creatures that feed on the Earth's pollution and aim to destroy the planet. They are led by Master Org, a mysterious and powerful figure.
Wait a minute. They
Quite
feed on the pollution? Shouldn't that make the Earth better?
Well, they feed on pollution, therefore they want more of it,
Oh, okay.
if I remember correctly. So some of the themes: environmental conservation, talking about ecological threats, like I mentioned, teamwork and unity. Yay! Um,
Eh.
it is true that most of the seasons, I mean, they were a diverse group, with their own strengths and weaknesses, and they talk about how to work together. It wasn't as evident in the very beginning, but it is kind of a focus later on. There's also lessons in cooperation and conflict resolution. Anyways, by combining environmental consciousness with core principles of teamwork and unity, the series delivers a valuable message to its audience. The importance of protecting the environment and the realization that we can accomplish more when we work together. Ah, kumbaya, my lord. You just took a large swig after I said that. Um,
Yeah, I sure did of this rum and coke.
um, so the season's known for its unique combination of the themes with the Power Rangers action and adventure. So it's a memorable entry. Screen Rant, though, ranks it as 17 out of 22 Power Rangers series. Of course, the original ranks as the first, and the original ran from 93 to 96, and that's followed by Power Rangers Zero, or Zeo in 96, and then Power Rangers Dino Thunder in 2004.
Oh, speak of Transformers again.
Right, right. Uh, so Power Rangers has been a cash cow, hugely successful. It debuted in 93, like I said. It's had 30 television series split into 22 different theme series, 3 theatrical films, and a television special. It has created over $6 billion in toy sales.
Jeez.
By 95, it had generated $1 billion in revenue. That's over $2 billion today. That's within 2 years of it starting.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's rumored that the franchise is worth billions upon billions in dollars. But that's evidenced by the above numbers. There is a rumor that at a certain point Disney had bought it, but they wanted to sell it and they were going to sell it back. And Saban actually bought it back. And that was in 2010. The rumor is that Disney only asked for $100 million, but I can't believe that. I really can't. There's no way. And the
No,
total offer was really never disclosed.
unless they saw some like kind of huge issue coming up with it and like lawsuits, someone's like wash their hands of it quick, but nothing's materialized there. So
So I was just thinking in 2000. Okay. I bet you that they sold that off because 2 years later they bought Lucasfilm. I bet you they were getting ready.
Yeah,
getting rid of
getting rid of something, open up some cash.
Right. Yeah, and I mean,
and that's a better deal. Star Wars is worth way more than Power Rangers.
Yes, it is. I will say this: the production costs, which we'll talk about, but the production costs of Power Rangers way lower. Way lower.
True, very true. Yes.
So in addition to Medina's interest in acting, martial arts played a big role in his life from a young age. His proficiency in martial arts became a defining feature of his career, especially during his time as the Red Wild Force Ranger. His background in martial arts not only enhanced his on-screen performances, but it contributed to his ability to perform many of his own stunts. And because of that, he stood out in the series, and he was appreciated by fans for that as well. And it was also a bit different because in the beginning, Saban basically repurposed video from a Japanese show called Super Sentai. He would cut the stories with the American actors, and then for fighting scenes and Rita Repulsa, the primary antagonist of the original series, he would cut to clips of the martial arts and characters from that show and dub it.
Wow.
And so, yeah. So
what was it called again?
Super Sentai, I think it is.
Good thing it wasn't Super Hentai.
Totally different show. But what I'll do
both,
here
I'm sure exist though.
I'm gonna send this to you right now, this image. And when you click on the link, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, totally original thought. 100%.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep, so that's the Japanese version, right? There is, I can't remember the specifics, but there is a Netflix episode of the shows or the movies or something that made us, and it covers Power Rangers. It's fascinating because
Interesting.
they get into some of that. Um, so Medina's legal issues and subsequent conviction for voluntary manslaughter following the death of his roommate Joshua Sutter was not straightforward, but it did garner considerable media and public attention because, of course, it did, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the evening of January 31st, 2015 began like any other day in a shared residence of Medina and Sutter in Green Valley, California. But an argument between the two roommates took a dangerous turn and escalated into a heated dispute. The specifics of the disagreement that triggered the altercation are kind of a matter of some contention. So I'm not even going to pretend to know. But as the argument between Medina and Sutter intensified, the tension in their shared living space reached a breaking point. It was during this highly charged atmosphere that the confrontation took, again, this violent turn. It was central to the legal case. Central to the legal case was the pivotal moment when Josh Sutter allegedly attacked Medina with a sword. Medina asserted that he had acted in self-defense during the altercation. According to his account, when Sutter brandished the sword and attacked him, he believed his life was in imminent danger. In response to the perceived threat, Medina took actions that proved to be fatal.
Yeah, ruh-roh. That's not good.
Right. So, following the altercation, Ricardo Medina contacted emergency services, and the authorities swiftly responded to the scene. So he contacted them. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department took charge of the case, began conducting a comprehensive examination of the events and circumstances, whatever comprehensive means to Los Angeles County Sheriffs. It looked like sword went through. Okay, so throughout the legal proceedings, Medina's defense team argued that his actions were, again, self-defense. They said he acted out of fear for his own life, and that was central to their strategy. That's basically what they sought to establish. But the journey, this legal journey, was marked with a lot of he said kind of situation.
Yeah.
Right?
Lots of bullshit, it sounds like.
Exactly. The charge carried a potential for a really long prison sentence. But at this point, the LA County District Attorney's Office decided at that point not to file charges against him, citing insufficient evidence to support a murder charge. There's two people in a house. One gets stabbed.
Yes. With a sword, too. It's kind of...
Right?
He fell on his sword!
He fell into my knife. He fell into my katana 10 times. All right.
What about these fingerprints? Yeah.
You didn't see those.
Yeah.
So the initial dismissal was a significant, also somewhat unusual development in the case. It led to questions about the strength of the evidence and the circumstances surrounding that altercation. But the case ended up taking a 180-degree turn when the sheriff's department opted to reopen the investigation. Medina was subsequently rearrested and charged with one count of murder, setting the stage for a contentious trial. Details about the injuries sustained during the altercation with Ricardo Medina were central to that case, too. The precise extent and nature of his injuries were addressed during the legal proceedings, but there were also several key points that emerged that were questionable. As a point of reference, under California law, self-defense typically involves the following elements. Reasonable belief, as in you have to have reasonable belief that you or someone else is in imminent danger of suffering bodily injury or facing imminent threat of an unlawful force. Proportionate force, which is the force used in self-defense, has to be proportionate to the perceived threat. In other words, it should not exceed what is reasonably necessary to defend against the threat. So if somebody's coming at you with a knife, don't pull out a bazooka. But also, like, proportionate force is so subjective, right?
Oh, it is,
like,
yeah.
If a big dude is approaching we'll say small dude, a big dude's approaching me, I'm approaching
you.
Right, you're dude, yeah. So like, say you were approaching me and I'm in fear for my life. I'm gonna have to do a lot more to disarm or to stop you. Yeah, that thing, that thing that you would see through one side of me going through the other side.
The machete.
Right, the mashata. But it's really hard. How do you judge what proportionate force is, right? Also, no duty to retreat. California follows a stand your ground principle, which means no legal obligation to retreat from a confrontation before using force in self-defense. You don't have to try to get away. Defense of others. In addition to self-defense, an individual can use force to defend others if they think that that other person is imminent danger. And then finally, defense of property under limited circumstances, like unlawful entry, recover stolen property. Wait, hold on. Wait a second. Whoa. I swear I read this, but it's catching me again. Force may be used in defense of property under limited circumstances, such as to prevent a forcible and unlawful entry onto real property or to recover stolen property. So does that mean that if you find somebody who stole your property, you are more than welcome to use force in order to get it back?
Yeah, like breaking into their house to get your stuff back. I don't know.
That's what that sounds like, but okay.
Very different laws than Canada. Very
Yes.
different laws.
Yes. The most critical injury sustained by Joshua Sutter during the altercation was a sword wound. Ricardo asserted that Sutter attacked him, so Medina defended himself. Led to his injury. The sword wound was a significant factor in the case. It was reported that Medina used a samurai sword, also known as a katana, in the confrontation. For those of you who are unaware, a katana is a traditional Japanese sword. It's got distinctive features: curved, slender blade, circular squared guard. It's known for its sharpness and ability to cut. If you've seen Kill Bill, you know what I'm talking about. Or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or really, yes, it's a very distinct feature in any samurai film. Yeah. The nature and severity of Sutter's injuries were critical aspects as well. It was clear that that's exactly what led to his death.
You can also see that sword in the Wolverine, can't you? The one that takes place in Japan.
Yes. Yeah. So in March of 2017, Ricardo made a momentous decision in his legal battle. He entered a guilty plea to the charge of voluntary manslaughter, which is a lesser offense than murder, in connection with the incident. That plea marked a significant turning point in the case, and in a court of law, he admitted to using a sword in causing the death, thus accepting responsibility. The acceptance of the guilty plea led to a sentencing phase. In June of 2017, he received a 6-year prison sentence for his role in the death of his roommate.
That seems short.
Oh, get ready. The final step in the legal proceedings marked that conclusion. So there was it had wide-ranging consequences for him. Obviously, his acting career is on hold. It overshadowed all of his prior achievements. And
all
it
his priors.
Personal. Yeah.
All of his priors.
Right. So he wasn't in prison for very long because he was released. There's limited information about him since then. It seems like he's kept a low profile since his release.
You don't say.
Right. Details about post-incarceration life, not widely reported. And of course, that's not uncommon for those who've been involved in high-profile legal cases to get
Hopefully
the hell out.
He owns less swords now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that would be ideal. I'm guessing that's part of the deal.
Probably.
But his public image is destroyed. Obviously, you can't just take somebody out like that. So this is, like I said, there's not a lot in this. There's not a lot of detail in this case. What you need to know is Ricardo Medina, who was the Red Ranger for Wild Force Power Rangers, got into some silly tiff, and he ended up stabbing his roommate with a katana, killing him. They tried to do everything they could to save him, but by the time they got there, it was just So I wish I had more details on like the wound and things like that, but I found what I could find.
Yeah. If you're gonna get in a silly tiff, have a slap fight or something. Like,
right?
Still dumb, but funny.
Bring a slap to a katana fight.
Yeah.
Well, no. Well,
no.
That doesn't work out.
That same thing would happen, unfortunately.
The hosts of Brew Crime are not responsible for anything you do following this episode. But so yeah, the Power Rangers, it's just full of, if I just type in Power Rangers curse, the first thing that comes up, 12 tragedies that confirm the Power Rangers curse exists. Voice actor who died, Zordon, 2 years after he left the Power Rangers, he died by a heart aneurysm.
Holy shit.
When American creators repurposed footage of Machiko Soga from the Japanese series, she became Rita in 2005. She had revealed that she was battling pancreatic cancer. She died. The youth center owner, Ernie, died. A lot of people have died. Now, and we recently lost Jason David Frank, who was the White Ranger, right?
Okay.
He died. But also, Eric Frank was also in the show as Tommy's brother, which makes sense. They're actual brothers
Yeah.
in real life. But his brother died at the age of 29 due to an unspecified illness. So
Jesus.
it's just like it runs through this. And then the Yellow Ranger, the Yellow Ranger's name was Trini. She was the first person who died at the age of 27
Holy shit.
for car loss control and fell off a cliff while driving around California. So it's like, these are things that, I mean, obviously, again, 30 seasons, 22 variations,
Yeah.
just 22 times 5, which is just the Power Rangers, right?
Yeah.
Is math, a large number. It's a huge cast. So things are bound to happen more often, but
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
a little wild, a little crazy. Go watch the first Power Rangers movie if you haven't seen it.
Go watch Power Rangers.
Go watch Power Rangers. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now that you didn't know this, everybody who's listening, but you need to pay extra now. So pony up.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
My Venmo is no, I'm kidding.
And your Amazon affiliate link and
Right. Right. This episode's brought to you by I'm trying to think of something that is regularly advertised.
Better Call Saul.
Better, yes. You know what? That is definitely up our alley. And behind our strip club. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning into Brew Crime. You can find us on all social media platforms at Brew Crime. We have a Facebook group at Brew Crime the Group. If you'd like to support the show, head to patreon.com/brewcrime now. The money goes towards upgrading equipment and making the show that much better. You get one bonus episode a month, as well as early ad-free access to our episodes. Shout out to our Patreon supporters, True Crime Nana, Three Beers In, and the faves of our lives. Bye!
Rangers.
All cases in Brew Crime are written by Mike and JT or a writer we credit on the episode, and sources are put into our show notes for each episode. We always want to give credit to the people that research the cases we talk about. Check out our store at tpublic.com/stores/brew-crime-podcast, where you can purchase gear like t-shirts, phone cases, stickers, pillows, and all kinds of other cool stuff. Brew Crime's intro was created by Mike using Creative Commons Attribution licensed audio from purple-planet.com, soundbible.com, and freesoundeffects.com. Logo designed by Ben Greenberg. Thanks for listening to this episode of Brew Crime Podcast.
This morning, I'm showing you how social media has become a big help in solving crime.
On social media is helping solve major crimes and exposing others.
Two local police departments are using the power of social media to catch the bad guys on a regular basis.
With the click of a button, thousands of crime fighters share pictures and videos of suspects crowdsourcing to catch criminals.
Hey guys, it's Marianne, Dog Mom, Baker, True Crime Podcast Maker, and as some of you might know, our podcast was named Crime Scene and Cupcakes because, well, I'm the boozy baker. However, since crimes are changing because social media and everything is changing, that means we need to change with them in order to possibly assist law enforcement in getting answers. When my friend Krista Martin was murdered back on October 1st, 1989, there was barely a blurb out there on media on her case. And unfortunately, that is still the way it is to this day. It just seems to be the status quo on a lot of cases. And I refuse to allow that to happen. So that's our mission, to change that, to be the voice for those that go unheard, to be the voice and give those a social media presence. Because more than 200,000 unsolved cases have gone cold since 1980. And the people who committed those crimes, well, they could be living right next door, in the same locations, scattered around the world. By using social media, podcast platforms, case flyers, and hashtags, law enforcement and family are able to track the chatter and comments on certain cases. And you can join this movement by listening to our podcast, The Social Detective, on any of your streaming platforms. You can also join us on Instagram, Twitter, or I guess it's called X now, Threads, Facebook, you name it, you can find us. Join the Social Detective and the Crime Solve movement. Help us assist law enforcement by putting a few in the win column. And I really hope Krista's case is one of them.
In addition to, sorry, I just blanked. A katana, you've seen Kill Bill. You know what a katana is. What?
As soon as you said curb blade, it started cutting out again. I don't know what's going on. Your table seems to be bouncing around a lot today. I don't know if that's what it is.
I don't know.
Whatever.
All right. So what did I say?
You were talking about the distinct curb blade.
Okay. 1 second. All right.
Yes. Here, where's the end script thingy?
Where's the any key?
Yes, exactly.